Welcome to Haslam Field. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We are with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network. Of course, media not able to view any more practices heading into the season, but we were able to catch up with Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel to kind of detail how they're preparing for this season. And it's not game week yet, but it's starting to feel like game week, and Heupel kind of echoed the same sentiments as the coaching staff. If they see something that needs to be corrected, well, right now is the time to correct it. There's a little bit of a sense of urgency now as Tennessee is just 12 days away from kicking off football season. So it's starting to feel like it here in Knoxville. But no, what was your biggest takeaway from what Josh Heupel had to say today?
Yeah, kind of like what you said. You're a week out from game week, so you're starting to get a little bit of better an idea of what's coming together after a few weeks of fall camp, and part of that is the injury front. How's the team looking health-wise? And Josh Heupel was asked about that. Now, there's some guys we know we probably won't see this year that are going to have some lingering injuries throughout the year to deal with, but for the most part, he sounded very positive about this team being back to full health or close to full health by the time they kick off against Virginia. Cooper Mays, obviously the biggest one. We're not sure if we're going to see him, but Heupel said that it wouldn't be that long of an extended period with him out. But we've seen guys like Dylan Sampson banged up a little bit. Kamal Haddon, Wesley Walker on the defensive side of the ball banged up a little bit. Some receivers, Omar Norman-Lott on the defensive line. We've seen them out at practice. They've been in full pads. I don't think that's anything to worry about. I think those are the guys he's kind of talking about. Big contributors they're expecting them to be, and they should be ready to go by kickoff.
Yeah, of course, the biggest one, Cooper Mays. Haven't seen him at practice since he went down with an injury a couple weeks ago. But Josh Heupel's kind of hinted here and there that they might have him back for that opener. Whether he's there for the opener or not, it sounds like he should be back pretty early in the season, worst case scenario. So good to hear. More positive news on the injury front as the whole team, like you said, as he seemed pretty positive about where they're on that standpoint. But also of note, speaking of the offensive line, position battles for the team. Of course, you'll have to wait and see what that official depth chart looks like. But he mentioned the right tackle battle that's been going on, said that that's not decided yet. They're going to kind of wait to see how the season or the off-season camp still progresses heading into game week. And make that decision a little bit later. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what that depth chart does look like in a little bit from now.
Yeah, that's why this week is so important, this next week, because you're not fully in game mode yet for Virginia, but you are trying to figure out some of those pieces that need to, that you're probably going to run out there with on kickoff, or the rotations you're going to try to figure out. That right tackle spot specifically, but other parts of the offensive line as well that I know this coaching staff's going to spend the next week trying to iron out.
Yeah, a few battles all across the field. One that isn't a battle, though, quarterback room. Obviously, Joe Milton going to be your starter. Nico going to be your second stringer. Well, if something did happen to Joe Milton, of course, Nico would have to step in then. So how does the true freshman look? Well, Josh Heupel said across the entire field, they don't want to play anyone that isn't ready to compete at a championship level. That goes for every single position. Well, when asked about Nico specifically, he says that he thinks he's ready to compete at a high level. So if something did happen to Joe Milton, of course, no one wants that to happen, but they do seem somewhat confident that their second stringer true freshman Nico will be able to step in and kind of provide not too big of a drop-off, be able to step in, keep that offense rolling, and that should be great news. And that's something that's kind of rare, is a lot of coaches don't necessarily speak too highly of their second stringer yet. You mentioned earlier as we were talking, Alabama's situation. Nick Saban isn't necessarily jumping out there singing the praises of all three of his guys right now. That quarterback competition's going on. But you talk to Josh Heupel, you talk to Joey Halzle, the offense coordinator, and you talk to all players across the team, and they all seem really confident in Nico's ability.
Absolutely.
So that will be all for us today, though. We will be back on Thursday as we will talk to Joey Halzle, offense coordinator, and Joe Milton, along with a few other players. And then on Friday, we'll have Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, and a handful of players as well, as we are getting very, very close to football time in Tennessee. So make sure you guys head over to VolReport.com to get all of our written content. We have a lot of good stuff on the way, along with big recruiting news and some interviews after high school games that some of our guys have been doing. That's been awesome, along with some team news as well. As, like I said, we are very, very close to it being football season. Make sure you head to the description for all the links to everything you need, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.